we have Huntley Durell. He's also known as Sunset, and his favorite weather is the kind they write songs about. Here he is now, Huntley.
Saturday, July 16th. I can't remember what year it was. I've been waiting. It's been some time now. I can't remember exactly why we stopped on that particular tropical island. It was a charter flight. I can't remember the name of the company. Chapter 1, the tropics. I knew most of the people on the flight. A lot of them were my friends. Had some really close friends there. There were some businessmen that I had done some business with back home. Some thugs and bullies. Some really badass guys that had done some really shitty stuff. I tried really hard not to remember their names or some of the stuff that they've done. We're good with that too. There at the resort, we would hang out in the lobby. Me and my close friends, we would spend the time talking quietly in small groups. When we could occasionally find a cigarette, we'd smoke it. Just hanging out. The bullies and thugs were threatening the others in the hotel. The bad guys would steal stuff from the lobby. We'd go up to their room, purposely clog up the toilets. The management hated them. They said that the planes had stopped coming to the island because of some bureaucratic snafu, that they'd be coming soon, that they were working on it. Shopping on the island was piss poor. It reminded me what it must have been like in the Soviet Union in the bad old days. Chapter 2, the clouds. We were pretty limited there in the island. We had to stay there at the resort. We couldn't go anywhere else. Management said it was because of the same reason why the jets had stopped flying out of the airport. They were working on it. From the window of my bungalow, I could look out and see a hillside. And there were these two guards that were there every day. They were patrolling, I don't know what for. They had really big heads. I remember that. And they looked alike. I called them the Easter Island heads. Their heads would fit perfectly under Donald Trump hair. One day they came down to pay me a visit in my bungalow. They looked a lot alike. The big one, he couldn't speak my language. The other one was his interpreter. They started asking me a lot of questions. I knew the answer to some, others I didn't. Did I know why I was still here on the island? No, not really. Bureaucracy, diplomats, passports, the airport. The big one got mad, but his stone face was impassable. They left, and they went back to the hillside. I saw them up there again the next day, in their precise positions, with their 1,000-yard stare, looking off into the distance. They came down and visited me a few more times, more questions, a few answers, some chit-chat. Chapter 3, Springtime Longing. I had a dream one night, I think it was spring. I dreamt I was in a post office and there were two lines. I got in the short one. Mistake. There was one person in front of me. The woman behind the counter waited on him. He went away. It was my turn. I moved up to the counter. She picked up some papers, shuffled them around, went to the back, picked up a box, read the address, put it down, disappeared. And I waited. And I waited. And the guy from the other counter, I asked him, I said, what happened to the lady? Did she quit for the day? And he mumbled something, shrugged his shoulders, came over, picked up some papers, went to the back, picked up a box, read the address, and disappeared. I'm really not too sure what that dream was about. I think it was about the longing to go home, which I certainly had by that time. When I got up in the morning, I checked my forehead for stamps and postmark. Nothing. Chapter 4, Winter. Outside my window, I could also see a large tree. It was an immense tree. I got this urge. I wanted to carve my story in that tree with a knife, but that was stupid. I didn't have a knife. It's like those colonists at Jamestown. I felt like I was a kindred spirit with them. They were there in a new land. Not sure what the big plan was. Were they supposed to stay there? Or were they supposed to do something and then go home? I felt the same way. So there was that big tree, Jamestown. What did they carve in it? Croatoan? That was their story. Did it help them? Did we ever figure out what happened to those people? They just disappeared. Was it a happy ending? Did they go somewhere? Was it sad? Epilogue. I've been there in my bungalow 7 years now. My own personal Hotel California, Fantasy Island, weathering my storm. Mr. Work has never paid me a visit. My personal bungalow there on the southeast corner of that tropical island, Cuba. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for them to close Guantanamo. My name is Huntley Durell. You are a great audience. Good night.